spent the last 2.5 years job searching. And job searching, particularly job interviewing, is the art of equivocation. I want to talk about a few of the questions that are generally almost always asked, and what they are actually asking, and what some of the answers that you can probably give that won't get you into huge trouble are. The first one is, tell me about yourself. I hate this one. I've literally had it in every interview except one, and that would be the interview that I got the job for, which might say something. And I hate this question because they're not actually asking you about yourself. They don't care about you. They don't care about your family. They don't care about your hobbies. They don't really care about anything. They only care about what's on your resume and your cover letter, and you've already given them your resume and your cover letter. So what is there left to tell? Well, in all of my research, I found that there are 2 tricks to this question. The first trick is the 5 strengths trick. This is where you go to the job description and you mine that job description for the top 5 words that you can apply to yourself. And then you go in there and you're like, well, I'm a great communicator and I have customer service skills, blah, 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 5 strengths. I don't really like this one for a lot of reasons. A, I feel like even though you're working with the job description, it's a lot of guesswork, and I'm not crazy about guesswork. But B, I'm not huge on selling myself. It's not really my foremost strength, so 30 seconds of talking about how great I am does not feel awesome. So I go with what I call the present, past, future method. The present, past, future method works like this. You say, at my job, I am doing this, and you pick something that you're doing that helps with the job that you will be doing. Then you say, before my job, I was doing this, and you pick something else that you were doing at your previous job or your previous school that will help with what you're going to do at your job. And then you say, and I'm so excited to apply these things to my new job when I'm doing this, and then you talk about something that you're going to be doing at your new job. It works because then they're like, oh, you want to be doing this at your new job, but you don't actually have to talk about yourself, which is kind of neat on a question where it says, tell me about yourself. The second question is a trick question. It's, what did you like least about your last job? Now this is a trick question because anything you say that's negative automatically is going to win you not getting that job. And they've just asked you what you liked least about your last job. So here's what you have to do. You have to go to the job description, which is your best friend in this whole endeavor. And you have to find the one thing in that job description that you're going to be doing at your new job, because it's never like 2 or 3 things. It's always one thing, and it's always well hidden in the job description that you're going to be doing at your new job that you were not doing at your old job. So I actually was really lucky. I could always say, well, I don't like that my jobs are part-time, because that doesn't offend anybody. But for most people, you have to find something like, well, I wasn't really interacting with people at this job, and I'll be interacting with people at my new job. Or something like that, where you can actually say something that has nothing to do, because you can't use something generally. You can't be like, well, I really want to be challenged, because then they're going to be thinking, well, why weren't you challenged at your old job? Did you start out being challenged and stop being challenged? Are you going to stop being challenged at your new job? So you have to pick that very specific moment, and it's terrible and hard, and I apologize for that. Another one is, what would you do if you disagreed with your boss? So, funny story about this. I actually was in a position where one of my superiors asked me to go behind another superior's back, and I was not comfortable with that, and I told him that I was not comfortable with that, and he fired me, which, by the way, is not something you can say in a job interview. So, I talked with my sister about this. My sister took a class on job interviewing, and she is like the job interviewing maven. Like, she is crazy. She can make up stories for like, well, I walked my dog today, and make it into this crazy, like, great thing that you did for your job interview. And she was like, okay, well, here's what you have to do. You have to say, well, if I feel my cause is just, that's a great tagline. My cause is just. If I feel my cause is just, I will try to make the other side see where I am coming from, but consider that my supervisor's word is the last word. Obviously, I don't consider my supervisor's word the last word, but that's where the equivocation comes in. I'm gonna I'm going to talk now about one of the silliest questions I've ever had in a job interview because I find it amazing. And that is, what animal would you be if you could be any animal? Now, you're all thinking, why? And that's a great question, and I can't tell you why. But it turns out that the best answer to this question after long hours of searching the internet is a dog, because dogs are loyal. And if you want to go more specifically, you can go to smart breeds like German Shepherds, or you can go to hardworking breeds like Huskies. But if you're ever in an interview and somebody asks you that, or what kind of tree would you be, just think about what the most loyal tree is that you can figure, and then you'll be set. My favorite question in an interview is actually, tell us about your proudest achievement. And the reason I like this question is because this is the one question where I feel like you can actually say something about yourself. I feel like you can say, well, I finished a triathlon, which has nothing to do with work, but it means that you start something and you finish something. And it's the one place where you can actually say something about your private life. So if you're in an interview, please take some of this advice. It's not for the faint of heart, and I hope that none of you ever have to do it again ever in your lives.